right, let's see. Who do I have? Do I have anything? Am I on yet? All right, hello everyone. This is Wildblade from Creative Media Vault in Tokyo, Japan. And I was just on playing Street Fighter a little bit earlier because, well, I needed to break in this new PS5 and I don't have any save data for my Street Fighter game, so I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm playing Street Fighter 4, so like if you're into video games, like stop by and check that out. But I did play a little bit earlier, so I have to do some more work today. So, what you're looking at right now is you're looking at one of the characters from the game that I'm actually gonna be building right now. And this is Red Dragon Clan member from my book, Wildfire Legend of the Ryukage. So you can stop by my website at creativemv.com and check out all of that. So you'll see where this character comes into the game later. And so let's see, the game that we're going to be building or continuing to build is going to be built from my 2D game kit that I just released last week. Yeah, like last week. And you can download from my website at creativemv.com. And basically, the game kit kind of looks like this. So I designed this game kit to be like completely no coding or anything like that because I don't like coding. I can do it. I just don't like doing it. So for those of you who just kind of want to quickly make games and stuff like that, without having to worry about coding, I tried to put as much functionality into this as possible because I'm lazy. And I don't want to have to like keep on doing the same coding again, unless it's for fun, unless it's like for game jam or something like that. So we got monsters, we got like bullets, and all of the stuff that you've seen before. So if you've been watching my Twitch stream, then you would have seen me build most of this. Okay, like maybe 60% of it because I suck at coding and talking at the same time. So yeah. So this is what the game kit looks like, and the purpose of me building this game kit, one, was for for people who don't like coding. Two, it's also so that I can build my future games faster instead of having to recode everything all the time. So we're going to be using this game kit today to build the actual Spirits of the Lost Winds game. So what you're looking at is, what you were looking at previously was the sandbox, and now you're looking at the actual, demo game, which you can actually play on itch.io as well. So let me just go ahead and show you that. So you can actually go to my website to download this game. Right now it's about like $45. So you can download it, and I'm gonna keep on adding functionality to it, so it will get more expensive later. So it's best to go ahead and grab it now for cheap. And then if you want to play the demo game, you can just go down here and play the demo game on itch.io. And when you play the demo game right now, you're going to be looking at basically the same thing that's in the kit, right? And you're going to be looking at all of these like nice little default graphics that I put in there for you. So when you download the kit, you will get like some default graphics. What I'm going to be working on today is I'm actually going to be working on the actual story build of this game, right? The actual Spirits of the Lost Wind game. So I will not be updating graphics for the kit anymore. So for the 2D game kit, I think I'm gonna, because I don't want to put too many graphics in there that you guys are gonna have to like switch out anyway. So I will only be updating the code for this from now on. So after each build for my version, any new coding functionality that I put into the game, then I'll update that on the game kit. But for the actual graphics, I'll need to go ahead and start keeping those separate because, as everybody knows, I have my own online store. So when I build a game, I tend to make online store products based on the characters and the stories of my games, right? So that's another reason why I'm not going to be updating graphics. I'll just be updating code and functionality. So yes, go ahead and go to my website again, creativemv.com, and download this game kit while it is, still cheap, before I start adding a lot more stuff to it. And yeah, just that will help you. Hopefully, that will help you speed up your development process. So during this live stream, I'll also be, since I'm going to be using the actual game kit, you'll actually get to see how it functions for building, because I don't plan on coding anything if I don't have to. All right, so yeah. So like, I guess before we start working on the graphics, I guess I should give you a little bit of an overview of the story. So, we're going to be building graphics. I use Adobe Animate because of the versatility of it. So, it'll allow me to kind of kill two or three birds at one stone, with one stone, by like going ahead and drawing my characters and also setting up animation and rigging for other stuff. So we're going to be working. So that's one reason why I like using Animate. You can do the same thing in Photoshop, but I've been using Animate for a while. And also a lot of the basic like graphics design has been done in on my iPad in Adobe Procreate. Sorry, in Procreate. Yeah, Procreate. Like, we're not Adobe. In Procreate on iPad. So we're going to kind of start going ahead and filling in those temporary graphics that I have in the kit with actual graphics and animation. Finally, which is the stuff I kind of like better than coding. All right, so now, before we get started actually doing this, a little bit of background on the game that I'm making. Not the one that you're going to make with this kit. The game that I'm making. This game is connected to my main Wildfire Legend of the Ryukage storyline. So, like if you go to the website, if you go to my website and you click on up here, you'll notice that I have comics and I have novels. Well, I'm a writer and I develop comics. And so this game, Spirits of the Lost Wind, I've actually decided to connect it to the lore of my Wildfire, my main Wildfire novel, right? Which also has a few spin-off games already. So this fox that you're looking at, the main character for our game, or for my game, Spirits of the Lost Wind, will be this blue fox, blue spirit fox named Kuramiya. So Kuramiya is actually a summoned fox, a summoned spirit from this character, Nikki. So, this is Nikki Imamura. She is, well, I mean, it's better for you to come to my website and actually read her profile. But she is a summoner from one of the Ryukage clans, and she's a descendant from one of the Ryukage clans. I'm not going to tell you which one because I want you to read my book. But she's a descendant from the Ryukage clans, and she had the power to summon different creatures. So, so in this game, we're going to be going through the game as one of her creatures that had been assigned a mission from Nikki. The you will not see Nikki in the game so much. She will not be the main protagonist, like her spirit fox will be. However, the main antagonist for most of the game that I'm thinking right now will probably be Nikki's kind of arch nemesis, like in the second part of the book. Nikki does not appear in the first book, which you can find like online, or you can like buy it from the App Store, from the Apple Store, at the iBook. But Nikki doesn't appear in book one. She was designed to appear in book two. So I have the whole storyline for this whole thing already mapped out. But instead of writing the second book, I decided to go ahead and start making media and video games based on the characters instead. So if you want to know more about her, you can read her profile here, and you can stop by the Nerdy Urges online store and pick up some of the T-shirts and coffee mugs I already have with this character. But her spirit will be actually fighting these guys. And these are what we're going to kind of start working on today. So before we start building the main character, the main player, let me go ahead and switch scenes right quick. So before we start building the main player for the game, we're actually going to experiment with building some of the enemies. So if we go to level 1, in the actual demo game scene, which is what I'm going to be updating during this stream, we can go to characters, we can go to player, and if I zoom in on that, you'll notice that this is Kuramiya, Nikki's fox, right? So right now she's a young fox. So right now she's only got 3 tails, but she might have 9 by the end of this. We don't know. So as I play the game, hold on. I guess I can maximize on play. Let me go ahead and switch this over to maximize right quick. So I start playing the game, and I think I'm gonna play some music too. If I'm allowed to play some music, or is my yeah. Right, so as I play the game, and I kind of wander around the screen, you've seen most of this before if you've been watching my stream. So we got our pickups, we have our doors, our interactables. We can pick up items over here and carry them around and then drop them somewhere else. We have our dialogue system. So I'm not going to really run through all of this anymore because, you can just watch my Twitch stream or you just download the kit for yourself to see what I've built into it. But let's see what else we have. Oh, I've got to answer this dialogue first before I can access this area. Wait a minute. I've got to. Sorry, like this is the first one, so I kind of have to click through it. So continue getting or I could just could have just skipped that, but you can do that by hitting the X button. Huh? Hold on. I think I just found a problem. Why are you not working? Huh. That might be a bug in my version. Should not be in the game kit though. You can give that a restart and see what's up. Yeah, usually that doesn't happen. So, let's go back to this. So anyway, as you're running around this scene, and you start interacting with it. Continue. Yep. All right. So let's go over here. Okay, now she has access to it. I gotta troubleshoot that and see what's up with it. So she can get some acorns and stuff like that. And I'll make this bigger for you guys. So she can get some acorns, pick up some coins, and then what's gonna happen is after she answers this call, this is kind of like her little training mission right now because Kuramiya actually is summoned from a different realm. So she doesn't normally exist in the human realm. She basically Nikki has to make a contract with her and her other summons. So it's kind of like something very similar to like Final Fantasy VII or something like that, or even Naruto, where Nikki already has a natural power for this, but in order to gain control or gain the ability to summon one of her familiars, basically she has to make a contract with it. And so Kuramiya is one of the spirits that she's been able to make a contract with. Some spirits try to kill her. Most of them try to kill her. But so Nikki does have to kind of fight with them in order to gain control of them. So some instructions from in Kuramiya's normal spirit realm, and before she's going to summon her for an actual mission. So on this level, what we have right now is we have temporary graphics, so we have temporary enemies. And so when I hit continue or when I hit the X button, what's going to happen is these enemies are going to spawn. And these are the characters that we're going to be working on today. So we're going to be these are actually Red Dragon Clan members who don't actually exist in this plane. So we're going to go ahead and build them because they're the temporary graphics the temporary enemy that we have in the game. I'm going to go ahead and kill these guys because they're getting annoying. So or if they don't kill me first, I've been talking about them. So bang, bang. And yeah, let's go ahead and kill these guys off. So these are going to be some of the main enemies in the game anyway, so we're going to go ahead and start building them out. For this level, though, I'm probably going to eventually add some more natural-looking enemies. So, so the enemies that we're going to start building just for temporary purposes right now are the Red Dragon Clan members. So now, when you're using this game kit, one thing I do recommend is, especially if you want to test something, you don't necessarily want to test it on. You can test it here, or you can test it in a different level. But what I recommend is actually testing it or building it in the sample scene down here. So I'm gonna go to the sample scene, and this is going to be our sandbox for like just testing new shit. So if the sandbox breaks, we don't really care so much, but if our actual game level breaks, then it could be a problem. So I recommend building your enemies, building your basic functionality, testing out your AI or whatever in this level, and then if it works, go to level 1 or go to your own level and like start implementing it there. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So I've switched over to sample level in the game kit, and I'm going to go, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, and just anywhere. Now, I do have this enemy here that's going to try to kill me. I've got this like flying dragon worm kind of thing that uses the line renderer, which is kind of what you're seeing right here. And like when you start the game, it just kind of flies off somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I don't really want to be attacked during this time, so I'm going to go to this hierarchy, and I'm just going to turn this enemy off for now because I don't need him. Um, so I'm going to go to like my enemies, and I'm just going to go to Wiggly Monster down here, and I'm going to turn this one off, and that will keep me safe while I'm building and testing shit. So the enemies that we are going to start building, however, yeah, so now I can just kind of run around and I'm safe for the time being. So, the enemies that we are going to go ahead and start building, though, are going to be the RDC enemies. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these other enemies, like maybe Stalking Enemy, and I'm going to turn this on. And I'm just going to go ahead and all of these enemies are already included in the kit, so you can just like, as soon as you download it, you can go ahead and just start like grab these guys and start manipulating them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this and drag him over here, close to the player. I kind of center in on him, and you'll notice with our standard enemies, they just basically have a script. So they have a script. They have a sprite render, which is usually just a square. They have our chasing enemy script, which is the main script that we're using for almost all of our, I think, all of our enemies in the game. So we can create flying enemies, we can create shooting enemies, enemies that stop and shoot, enemies that have a melee attack. So all of their you don't really have to code anything. You can just kind of flip the switches and like change the settings here. So yeah, I try to make it as self-explanatory as possible. So like if I want the enemy to like splatter when it dies, then I can just turn this on and add a splatter effect to it, and you'll see the enemy's blood after it dies. Um, or if I don't want if the enemy is flying, maybe I don't want a blood splat like just hanging out in the air. So so I can turn that off. If I want this enemy to be able to melee attack, then I just turn this on and like set the speed variables and the time between attack variables, and that will let the enemy kind of run up on me and attack me. And also this I can set the stopping distance from how far the enemy can attack. After that, if I want the enemy to be able to shoot, like same thing, I can just like click, okay, you can shoot. This enemy does have a shot point inside of him already, so this is where the projectile will spawn from. So you just have to turn that on and like determine set how often you want the enemy to be able to shoot, and also just kind of specify the projectile that you want the enemy to be able to shoot. And then the enemy score value, how much money do we make for killing this motherfucker? Is basically for killing this enemy is basically what that means. And I also with Ninth, and I added pickups to this as well. So if I want the player, if I want the enemy to drop a pickup when he's killed, it could be like health, or it could be like weapons, or like some other kind of power up. You can just kind of set that here. So maybe I say like there's a 20% chance that the enemy can pick up. I mean that once the enemy dies, the player can pick up like something, pick up a banana or whatever. I haven't put a banana in here, but it's your game, so you can put it whatever you want. Um, so so I could just be like, maybe pick up a dash attack, pickup or something like that. And then when this enemy is killed, then basically I will just go ahead and get the dash attack. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that right quick. So I've tried to make this as Boolean based as possible, to where you don't have to even look at the code, because the code is like pretty simple for you advanced guys, but pretty messy. So right now this guy, damn, I gave him a really high attack, right, and like so right now, now what I'm gonna do now in my kit actually, and what I recommend that you do is go ahead and give the player like a stupidly high stupidly high life. Right now he's just like totally nerfed because I wanted to see how much I wanted the enemy to be able to kill him quickly. But now since I'm in testing mode, I'm gonna give him like health of 100, and I've just gone to the player, and I'm on the player controller script, so I'm just gonna give him 100 and 100, and yo that will like make sure that he doesn't get affected when the enemy try to attack him. Right, so right now I'm still kind of in the process of explaining the actual game kit, what it actually does, and like some of the functionality for it. So we got our player, we got our enemy that can shoot at us, and he can like melee attack us, for like no reason. And then like if I click on this and get rid of this card, I can blast him and he dies. Yeah, that's cool. Killing enemies is cool. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually like switch up this enemy though, and kind of change him around to make him into something a little bit more functional for an actual game, and we're going to change the graphics on him. So what I've done is I have this stalking enemy, and right now he does have his melee attack turned on. Dude, where'd the melee attack? All right, so I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm also gonna turn off can shoot. And actually, like for speed, I think I'm just going to turn it to 0 right now. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. Hold on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate. That's something I meant to mention. Before you, these right here are all default enemies, and if you'll notice that they're not really prefabs at the moment, I did that on purpose so that we can kind of mess around with them without having to worry about breaking anything, right? So before you start working on your actual enemies in this sandbox, what I recommend is that you actually duplicate them first. So I've just duplicated this stalking enemy, and I'm just going to turn this default one off because we're not going to need him right now. So we're going to use this duplicated stalking enemy to actually start building our real RDC clan members, right? And now what I can do is I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. All right, so now what I can do is I can start playing around with the settings. So I don't want this one like chasing the player right now. I'm going to turn off his melee attack, and I'm going to turn off his shooting. So basically this enemy is like a dumb enemy right now. It doesn't even know what to do. It can just turn around and look at me. That's about it. All right, and so now that I've got this set up, I can go ahead and take a look at what's inside of the stalking enemy. All right, so inside of this stalking enemy, what we have is, like I said, we have a sprite renderer. Now, a lot of times, like will put like these things into an empty game object, but I use a sprite renderer at the top right now just to make sure that I can like switch it like switch a sprite switch to something visual when I'm actually like programming. So like instead of just having an empty game object and I don't know what's what. So I just go ahead and throw a sprite render up in there, and then like once we actually have the graphics inside, well, I can just take this sprite render and just like turn it down, so and show the graphics beneath it. So that's what we're going to do. So this this is not an empty game object, but this will be our container that is kind of replacing the empty game object, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so let's go ahead and change the name of this. So I'm going to name this RDC Gunner. RDC Gunner. Now I already have a RDC Gunner in my prefab, so I'm going to name this RDC Gunner Main, right? So go ahead and change the name there. And now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and start changing the graphics, right? So this is pretty much sized fairly well for this level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, first I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to jump into my Adobe Animate. You guys can use your Adobe like Photoshop or whatever other graphics program you have available. GIMP is also a very good option, which is the free. I have GIMP as well. I don't use it but so much, but it's a good free option. So if you don't want to pay for like Adobe. So what I can do is I'm just gonna go into my Adobe Animate, where I've already pre-dragged in a lot of my reference artwork that was drawn on iPad. So, which RDC clan member are we going to build first? So, like, this guy is like looking pretty cool, right? So, I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to start with the gunner, because the gunner will have less animations than the blader. So right now we have two types of RDC members that we're going to be drawing. We have the gunner over here, and we have the blader. The gunner will have a simple animation where just the gun kind of moves backwards when he shoots, and maybe a walking animation. Whereas the blader will have is the one that has the melee attack, right? So the blader will run up on you and like flash you. So that's going to be a little bit more complicated for the animation side. So we're going to start with this guy first. So let's zoom in on him, and this has already been turned into a movie clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this up here, and I'm going to if you'll notice from like some of my previous game build videos and art videos, I tend to use a lot of box box animation or box drawing or whatever you call it, right? So I'm just gonna grab a random color that is not really associated with this character whatsoever, and I'm gonna make sure that the line is turned off. And then I'm gonna go here and I'm going to just draw a box. Yay! All right, so so everything that's it. Your character is done. Like I can go ahead and quit the stream and go back to playing Street Fighter. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take this box. I already have a red box down here, but I'm gonna take this box and I'm gonna turn this into a symbol. And then I'm gonna go into this symbol, and I'm going to change the opacity of this pink box down to 50, and that way I can see through it. And then I'm just gonna drag this pink box right on top of this guy, right? All right, and I'll zoom in a little bit more. And this is how we're gonna start basically modeling our top-down characters. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of start with the body first, and I'm just gonna grab this point and drag it out here. So I use this kind of animation quite a lot because, well, kind of drawing quite a lot because it is much faster for me. All right, so I'm just gonna drag these points here, and I'm not even really gonna worry about it being like too even at the moment because we can always smooth it out later. So I'm just right now I'm holding the Option key and I'm creating a new point. So I can do this right here, and this will give me, like quickly give me the basic shape. Might want to, round this one off a little bit as well. Yeah, give them a little bit more of a rounded shape by just clicking in the middle and dragging these out. This method is actually very easy. So, if you can get Adobe Animate, I highly recommend using, or any kind of, this is a vector-based software program, and that's probably why I feel a lot more comfortable using it. So, because I actually started my graphics design really when I was in the military, doing websites for my ship. but I didn't get into like professional graphics design until like around 2010 after the Lehman shock. So because I was doing other like IT based stuff then. All right, so that is our basic chassis for the chest or whatnot, chest area. And I always say that you don't have to like be perfect, but then I can't. I have a bad habit of tweaking stuff. All right, and yay, that's our body. Our body is done. So the good thing about Adobe Animate though is that I'll go ahead and make another movie clip. Make this into another movie clip because we're gonna add some other stuff on top of this. Um, so let's see. If I click inside of this movie clip, well, Adobe Animate has layers, so I'm gonna create another layer above this, and I'm gonna choose a blue. Um, yeah, choose the blue for now, and I'm gonna go here and click the oval tool. I can just like click O, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use these tools so that you'll know exactly what I'm using and not just rely on the keyboard so much. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and create this oval here. And if I hit the Q key and click on it, that'll allow me to like stretch it, shrink it. If I hold Shift while I'm doing this, it'll try to scale it uniformly, basically. So I'm gonna put it right here, and we're just gonna go ahead and scale this out like this, and like maybe move it down here. And like I said, I just randomly drew this shit, so like the measurements don't have to be exact anyway. All right, and that will be for the neck area. All right, and if you'll notice, I'm still like not using any lines at the moment. The lines will come later. All right, and so this will be like most of the body. And now we're going to create another layer, and we're going to drag it down here. Okay, so while we're doing that, the reason why we're doing that is because we need to create the back pieces for him. So the back piece of that, like the Red Dragon Clan members, they're basically now. I wrote my book like a long time ago, like 2000. Like I started writing it in like 19. Well, actually, I started writing it when I was a kid, but then I really started like focusing on writing it and actually developing the story into an actual book around like when I was in the Navy. So like maybe 2000 or 1997 to 2000 is when I actually started writing, and then like I went through the publishing process and all of that stuff around like 2007, 2006, 2007 was when the first book was published, right? And like nobody read that shit, so except for my parents, so like this is very actually like the people who have read it, they really like the story and they like the way that I wrote it. So so the characters do already have a bit of a following, but I think I picked a bad timing to publish a book because like technology was just like starting to really kind of make make stuff like books and comics obsolete. So it was mostly websites, YouTube videos, and stuff like that. And so people weren't really reading so many books at that time, especially like sci-fi. So it took me too long to publish the book, and I didn't really notice that the technology had kind of changed, and people were kind of getting into a different mode. So after my book was published, I had like about 350 people that bought it, mostly like family and friends and people who felt sorry for me. But but I really I didn't. My purpose wasn't really to sell a book; it was just to tell the story, right? So I kept on looking for different ways to tell the story. Okay, so what I've created right here is just a little back piece right here. And don't worry about the lines or the other thing. We're going to fill those in later. And I'll show you how I chop up graphics. So anyway, like with when the book didn't sell, I still wanted to tell the story. So what I wound up doing is I wound up going back into like getting back into web design, just so I can make websites that kind of explain the characters a little bit better. And then the Lehman shock happened, and a lot of that stuff. So I had to, switch gears to try to find like some other work, and when I couldn't find any good jobs for about like almost 2 or 3 years, really. So I switched over to doing like freelance web design. and doing like freelance web design, freelance graphics, just to kind of make cash. All right, so like we've got the main chassis up here. For the arms, we're gonna go ahead and do the shoulders as well. So we're gonna go ahead and add the shoulders to this because the shoulders in our animated version won't really move. So they're not going to. You're not actually going to see them like moving out or anything. Basically, they're just kind of gonna rotate like this, except for maybe for the blader. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create another layer above this, and I'm going to go ahead and create my box here. And if I click on this now, like some things are going to start kind of getting in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock these other layers. Um, Actually, I think I already did. Yeah, I'm going to lock the layers below, and that way, I can just kind of focus on this one. Now, remember we're using like random colors right now, colors that are not really associated with the main with the base character model at the moment. So if I run into a situation where I can't actually see it, I can just kind of, like, it doesn't matter what I change the color to. So I'm just gonna change it to like something. Ooh, that's just. I'm not changing it to that. That's just ugly. I'm gonna change it to like maybe this one right here, and that'll let me differentiate between the body parts that I'm kind of drawing, right? And for this shoulder, I'm just gonna like drag it out over here, and yeah, drag it out over here. But I do want to make sure that it covers, the body part. So, all right, yeah, that looks good. Now that brings up an issue with the actual chest piece. So I'm gonna click this one, and I'm gonna lock this top layer, and I'm gonna make sure that the chest like kind of fills had the volume to fill the area that it needs to. All right, yeah, that should be good. And now what I'm gonna do with this um, top shoulder pad, I guess we'll call it, is undo what I just did. I'm gonna hit Control C and Control Shift V, and I'm gonna hold Shift, and I'm just gonna drag it over to the other side, and then I can go to Modify and Transform and just flip horizontal, and then I can use my keys to gently nudge this into place. All right. Yeah, something like that. All right, and then we notice that our chest piece is a little bit uneven here, you know. So I'm just going to lock this top layer, go here, and then like drag this right here. And like I said, it's going to be a top-down shooter, and you're going to be like looking at this dude from pretty much from a distance anyway. So like I said, it doesn't need to necessarily be perfect at this time. I don't want him too rounded though. That's one thing. So I don't want this to be too rounded because I do want you to get the feeling that you're dealing with something like kind of mechanical or metal. All right, so that is how we've just kind of built the chassis or the um the main body for our RDC clan member. Yay! All right, so now what I'm gonna do is, oh, actually, there's two more pieces that we need to build. So down here, below this layer, I'm gonna lock this layer again, um, and then I'll probably go to like red. Um, we're going to go ahead and build out the round part of its arms. So I'll go here and hit the oval tool, and I'm just going to draw a circle on. And if you're not sure which layer you're on, you can just kind of like switch these on and off, like using the eye tool in Adobe Animate. All right, so now I'm just gonna go here and drop down to this layer and draw these two circles. Yeah, so circle here, maybe make it a little bit bigger and kind of stretch out a little bit. Right, so circle here, and then copy and then drag it over here. All right, cool, and make sure they're almost evenly spaced, but I'm not trying to be a perfectionist here. All right, so there we go. That's our main base model for the body. All right, and so now what we can do is I tend to leave everything transparent until I'm sure where I want all of the elements to be kind of placed on, make sure that the alignment and everything is all good. For the back part, you'll notice that we do have these two little exhaust ports, or actually I don't know what those are, but I'm just gonna call them exhaust ports, and you guys are gonna like it. So because I have no idea what these are actually called. So I know what they do, but I don't know what they're called. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this into a symbol, and jump in here and create a new layer on top of this, and go ahead and select my yellow color here. And I think I'm going to use a kind of polystar tool for this one. Now just choose any shape that kind of looks good. Drag it up in here. And maybe I can hit the Q tool and I'll get this little curly symbol right here, and then I can just kind of like use this to rotate. And then I can like drag it out, scale it up, scale it down, make it a decent size. Actually, I think I like this one better though. Yeah. All right, cool. And then like I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this one, and not do that. And I'm going to drag it over here. And I'm going to go to my modify and transform, and then modify, transform, and then like flip horizontal. Yeah, and make sure that they're about evenly spaced. Yeah, something like this will be fine. All right, cool. So that will be our nice little jetpack looking cool thing. All right. So now we have the body is basically finished. So I'm gonna go here and I'm going to rename this movie clip to body. Its name is body. Well, I'm getting a little bit sleepy now though. Okay, so name this one to body. Oh, sorry about that, guys. That is my alarm clock. Yeah, that's my alarm clock going off. Because I normally, recently, I've been trying to wake up at this time so I can do my stuff. So, all right, so there we go. Turn that off. All right, so now we've got the body pretty much done here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start working on the head. So right now I'm kind of mansplaining everything, but this is actually really, really fast and really easy once you get the hang of it. So I'm not really going to explain too much now that you've seen how I've actually started building my boxes. So we're going to move to the head area at this time. So if we go to the main timeline, we'll notice that we have our body here. And then if I click inside of the body, we've got this right here, the head. So for animation purposes, we're going to want to make sure that all of these body parts are kind of separated out. So I can like just drag the body anywhere over here. And we're going to, that way we can actually have some head movement or head rotation if we want it, which would actually be kind of cool. I don't know. I might not put head rotation in there though. But anyways, we've got the body done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start working on the head. So we'll go back to our rectangle tool, and I'm going to create another box. So I can just this red box is like kind of staring at me like, you created me 2 months ago and you haven't used me for anything. So I kind of feel bad for him. So I'm going to go ahead and use the red box this time that I created specifically for this. And I'm going to, of course, drop the opacity down on this one to 50. And I'm going to make a movie clip out of this. So I'm going to make a movie clip, and I suppose I should start naming these things now. So I'm just going to call this RDC Gunner Head. Alright, so yeah, we got the body, we got the head. And actually, let me go back here. I'll go ahead and like duplicate this one and name it RDC Gunner Body. RDC Gunner Body. And I could put like body 1, because I might have multiple bodies that I want to use. Alright, so now I'll jump in here and I'll use the head. This is a red square, but it's kind of getting on my nerves, so I'm going to change it to a different color. Then I'm going to wind up switching it back to red later anyway. So I want something that's like not identifiable with this character at the moment, so I'll use this. Alright, and we'll jump in here. And now I'm not really going to explain so much because I've already shown you the process of how I box animate. But this one, actually, an easier way to do this would probably just be to use a circle. But anyways, I'm gonna use this part for the bottom jaw, at least. So we are gonna see, like, you know, a little bit of this enemy's face, because if you'll check the actual photo that we're using, you know, his face is exposed. So he's got his face exposed, he's got a visor up here, and then he's got his little demon horn and, you know, like his little glowing arrow thing. So we want to make it a little bit, you know, identifiable, to where if you look at this character on my website and then you look at what we're building here, you can be, oh, that's the RDC clan member, you know, right off the bat. All right, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna drag this out. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna hit Option and drag it out here, and I'll work a little bit more quickly now. I think I'm gonna like give them, like, leave it a little bit square, maybe not too rounded at the moment. Okay, so I can really just go ahead and drag all of this out here, because it's not going to matter with what I'm going to do in a little bit. And then what I'm going to do here is we have this visor area. So I'm going to drag this here. And just going to drag this here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the color. So I'm going to change it to something like, I don't know. This will be a chin area, so change it to this right here. Now we've kind of already set up his visor, you know, just by doing that. And I think this top part I can kind of cut off, because we don't necessarily need it anymore. All right, and to create the visor, I'm just going to jump up in here and hit my Options key, and then like hit my Options key again, and then so I'm just going to drag out a couple of points. I will move this part up to like more define the chin. All right, and I can kind of curve these out if I want to. Yeah, go ahead and curve them out a little bit, and then I can go do this and like just kind of curve these out. Okay, yeah, that looks like a visor. Yeah. All right, and like I said, I'm not going for perfection with this because it's a top-down shooter. So your people aren't, as long as people can identify what the character is from a distance, that's basically all we need. All right, so that is the visor, and that is his face area. Might narrow that down a little bit more. His face area completed. Very easy, very quick, right? And this is why I love using Adobe Animate. All right, so the only other area that we really need to do are the top of the helmet. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my oval tool, and I'm going to choose another like random color that's completely not associated with it, like maybe blue. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle. Right, and with this circle, I'm going to click this, maybe cut it, and I'm going to do this top part on a new layer. Yeah, and that'll give me a little bit more flexibility of what exactly how I want to manipulate it. All right, and I'm going to drag it right here. And then I'm going to hit the Q key and make it bigger to where it covers his dome. Yeah, right around here. That should be good enough. And I'll make it a little bit wider. And it looks like he's kind of got an afro thing going, which is kind of cool. Yeah, afros are tight. I used to have like afro when I was a kid, and I miss it sometimes. But Japan is way too hot and humid, so I wouldn't even dream of having one here. All right, so this will be the top of its head. And then we're going to jump down and create another layer and drag that below layer 1. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the rectangle tool. And using the rectangle tool, I'm just going to do the ears very quickly. yeah, the ears are the extra details. So I'm gonna lock the top dome layer. Right, so for the ears, I'm just gonna drag it up here, drag it out here, drag it down here. All right, and maybe give it a little bit of an angle before I curve them out. Right. All right, cool. And I think this will be like good enough for the ears. Right, and I can actually drag that into here anyway. So, right. So yeah, this will be like good for the earpiece, which will be sitting actually below the actual head. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it, and go ahead and like flip horizontal, hit my shift key and drag it to the opposite side. All right, cool. And that's kind of all that we need for the general shape or sculpting of our head. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to unlock this, and let's see. I guess back in here, go ahead and save. So right now we're still kind of building our main body part. So we have the head, which can be separated from the body. Yeah, so he can just like totally lose his head here. So we have the head, we have the body. Now we need to kind of do a little bit of work on the arms and the legs. So realistically, this character doesn't have so many like moving body parts that we're actually going to see because everything is top down, right? So that's the advantage of making these type of characters, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start working on the arm. And that's going to be very quick. So let's grab this, another color, and I'm going to go to... Now, if you'll notice, I'm not using any solid colors or actually trying to match the color scheme of the character right now, because if I want to tweak something or I want to adjust it, that might be a little bit difficult if I'm already using solid colors. So I'm going to keep everything like really general and generic until I've got the shape of everything the exact way that I want it. And then after that, it'll be easy for me to just like click and swap the characters out with their actual solid counterparts, and then like add like details and add lines and stuff like that, right? So this yellow box that I've just created right now is going to be like RDC Gunner Arm 1. And I'm going to drag that over here. Now, the since the RDC clan members, the cool thing about the RDC clan members in my book, you can actually read about you can actually read about the RDC clan members in my book, because like one of the other characters that you'll be able to read that actually had their story already implemented in book 1, actually had to fight these guys. So there's a very cool fight scene between well, actually two very cool fight scenes in at the end of my book, and the epilogues between one between two characters in two separate areas that wind up meeting this criminal organization, the Red Dragon Clan, and have to face off with them in their first encounters in kind of like a new world, right? So like you can actually read like the encounters that they have with these characters on my website. And the cool that's where you'll start to learn a little bit about what the Red Dragon Clan's abilities actually are. But I'll explain them a little bit while I'm working on the characters. So the cool thing about the Red Dragon Clan is that they're basically humans, right? So well, they're kind of anybody can join their ranks, like human, mutant, or alien. Sorry, human or alien. They don't like mutants, so they don't accept mutants into their ranks, and there's a political reason for that. But like basically, they came to power around the time like after the the first Shiaki invasion in my book. So like they were a bunch of like basically Shiaki sympathetics, and they were very sympathetic to the Shiaki cause when they kind of invaded Earth. So they actually kind of became ground forces working with the aliens against us, because they kind of against the Earth and the Attraction Planetary Council. So what happened is because they were kind of helping the Shiaki out in their invasion, the Shiaki decided to give them like some alien technology, right? And they introduced them to like some nanotechnology, kind of like what Iron Man is rocking in the MCU nowadays. But my book came out way before that shit. So, anyways, like, yeah. So like anyway, these guys are so they're basically human soldiers that are infused with an alien type of technology, of nanotechnology, right? That comes from the Shiaki, right? But the thing is, when a Red Dragon Clan member joins the ranks, all of them start off as grunts, basically. So they all get a standard basic nanotech loadout. And it's very limited. So it's very limited in what they can actually do with it. And so it's just got basic healing, a little bit of a basic strength boost, a little bit of a basic, like some basic weapons. They can form like, some basic bladed weapons and stuff like that, which you can kind of see on this character right here. But so not they don't naturally start off strong because the thing about this nanotechnology is that some red drag well like most of the red dragon clan members that join and have it infused into their body, it takes them over and it kills them, right? So that's part of the initiation, is actually surviving the process. So they give the Red Dragon Clan members the weak version of the technology first, and then after the technology accepts them, then basically what happens is it starts adapting itself to their body type and their mentality. So that's why like the Red Dragon Clan members' weapons and their armor loadout is different because this nanotechnology actually starts to grow with them. It and personalize tailor itself specifically to each Red Dragon Clan soldier. So you do have like some pretty like weak guys who like you kind of find in the book, who just just like slight upgrades to their basic loadout that they received upon becoming members. But then you have like some really strong strong ones. And the more battle experience they have, the more their armor like learns, and the more their technology learns, and the more it kind of updates itself, right? So that's why the Red Dragon Clan is actually very dangerous, one of the most dangerous groups for the Traxian Planetary Council. So this is kind of what his arms are going to look like. And the reason why I'm giving him short and stubby arms is because he's the gunner. So his arms aren't really going to move that much. Basically, they're just there to prove that he has arms. So if I'm being honest, like, he's like he's shooting something, but where are his hands? So I'm just putting his hands in here to prove that he has hands, right? So that's why he's got the short little stubby arms. So I'm gonna zoom in on this though, and I'm gonna give create another layer down here, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one green, and I'm going to create a box. And I'm just gonna draw his default blades. So the color scheme for the Red Dragon Clan, and actually, the reason why they named themselves the Red Dragon Clan isn't because they like wanted to. Well, is because the nanotechnology armor, or the nanotechnology that they received from the Shiaki, actually is naturally red. So the Shiaki themselves, they use like a blue, and their main colors are kind of like blues and greens, because they have like more organic. The Shiaki are organic based beings, right? But the nanotechnology and the armor that they use, they actually use a different type of metal from their home world, which I can't really say too much about because there's a secret about that. Their well, not their actual home world, but they're like as a matter of fact, scratch all of that. You can read my book. Um, but they're the reason why their armor is red, and and that comes from the nanotechnology that they're infused with, right? And so they wanted different colors, but Like because they're human, so like aliens gave them aliens gave them really advanced armor, and the first thing that they were worried about, hey dude, can I get this in gold? So so and the Shiaki are like no, so the only color option available is for them is red, so that's why they named themselves the Red Dragon Clans, because there's no other like color options for the nanotechnology that they're infused with at this time. All right, so that's a little funny fact about these guys. Um, so, anyways, the armor does adapt itself to each user. So you have like some really strong ones that like grades and stuff that you actually meet in the book, and then you have like some like ones that are like, dude, how do you even make it in here? But you know they have super strength, super speed. That is basically enhanced by their own training and battle experience, because the more they battle, the more the nanotechnology inside of them learns, and so yeah, that's basically it. All right, so now we've got our arm done, and you know, when it comes to arms and stuff like that, we just kind of cheat and copy and paste to the other side. So I'm not even gonna really worry about building an arm over here. Um, so the only other body part that we really need to do now is just the leg. All right, and to do the leg, it's going to be very simple. I'm just going to use the same technique. So I'm going to grab a box, and I'll see if I can like build this leg within about like a minute. All right, so I got the whole box in my hand. So go here, zoom in. I should start timing myself for these. And go ahead and name this RDC. Uh, well, I could just call this like any kind of gunner foot. And for feet and stuff like that, I do tend to use like a left and a right. So this would be like uh, left. I'm very descriptive in my thing, so. All right, so these feet, in this game, we're not going to show legs, basically, because it's top down. So Kuramiya, we're going to show her legs. But for these guys and these enemies, now I'm just nitpicking, so. Yeah, so it just depends on where I want the pivot point at, so. If I do this, I can, like, okay, yeah. Actually, we might go ahead and leave it like this, because this is kind of how the blader is going to attack. He's just going to, like, basically take a swipe at you, like that. Right? So I think we're going to leave this here at the moment. Okay, I'll make it a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. Come on. I don't want him to have like two huge hands, so I think we'll leave him like that for now. All right, so yeah, so we got the head that can move and swivel and do all kinds of cool shit. We have the body, yeah, so the head can move, the arms can move, the feet can move. All right, yeah, and we're basically kind of done with this, actually, to be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. The gun, we will go ahead and, yeah, we'll go ahead and add the gun as well. Go ahead and design the gun. All right, so for the gun, I'm going to once again, choose a box, choose a completely unassociated color, um, something that will look ugly enough that, basically when I'm choosing colors for this, I'm choosing something that I know is going to look ugly enough to make me want to change it later. So that's kind of like a personal reminder, like, hey, dude, change this shit. It's ugly. So, all right. So I'm gonna turn this into a symbol as well. So I'm gonna put like RDC gun 1. Right. Right. So so the RDC members, they do use like a mix of like ranged weapons. They have everything kind of built into their armor though. So even this gun. So the thing about an RDC clan member is that when they're walking around town and stuff like that, they can perfectly infiltrate well, anywhere basically, because they're actually human. And just like and that's why I was tripping when I saw like Iron Man's nanotech armor in Infinity War, because I'm like, oh dude, that's a RDC clan like armor, you know. So because basically it functions the exact same way. So they can be walking around in broad daylight, and like nobody would have any clue that they're a RDC clan member, even though they do have like identity markers that tend to be gold. So their clan colors are basically maroon, gold, and green, right? So and that's kind of like it. In a way, it's kind of really a little bit similar to the Bloods and the Crips. So that's kind of one way that they identify themselves to each other, and that's what Cobra also looks for when they're trying to identify like Red Dragon Clan members, because like the way that they activate their armor is they have gold bands or gold bracelets built into their bodies somewhere, right? So they can activate by like touching those gold bands or gold bracelets, and that's what powers up their armor, powers up the nanotech inside of them, right? So, but when they're wearing like plain clothes or something over that, well, some of them have their activation panels as tattoos, right? So, when they're wearing like plain clothes, you cannot tell who's the Red Dragon Clan member and who's not, right? Until they activate. And once they activate, like their size and their whole composition can change based on how much battle experience they have. So basically, the bigger or the more weaponized the RDC clan member is, then the more that means that they're more experienced. So for these guys, like they even if they're carrying guns, they don't have to physically carry weapons on them, because once they activate, and like their nanotech armor, like will, if they need a gun, their nanotech infused armor will create one for them. So this is not a gun that this like RDC clan member just brought, like went shopping for, and it's not like they have to go shopping for weapons. They are weapons, right? And they can kind of adapt themselves during battle on the fly to develop new ones. That's what makes them so dangerous, and that's why the Atraxian Planetary Council has such a hard time dealing with these guys. So, because they're simply not they're Cobra. Cobra is I talked about Cobra before because Cobra is the organization that is actually based on what my main game that I'm working on right now, the CDULO game, is based on. So CDULO is this game. So this is my actual Kickstarter game, the one that the main game project that I'm working on right here. So all of these two games are connected. Well, actually, all of my games are connected in one way. But CDULO, this is based on a group called Cobra, and they're the Atraxian Planetary Council's main police force. They started off their main police force, and then they turned into an interplanetary like kind of defense force once Shiaki invaded. But they were more designed for dealing with, like, at first they were like designed for dealing with like Earth, like Atraxian Planetary Council based issues like drug trafficking and stuff like that, criminal organizations, right? And that was their origin, just as a police force. But then when the Shiaki invaded, well, they had to become a military force. And what happened is the RDC clan actually got born in the middle of that. So the RDC clan was basically like a criminal organization before, and that already had a conflict with the CDULO, with the Cobra forces, right? Because the Cobra were the police, and the CDUL and the Red Dragon clan were the criminals, right? And so like, because the council was funding the Cobra forces, then the Red Dragon clan, then these crime lords actually had a problem, because they was kind of like, the balance of power just kept on shifting. It's like, okay, the council's giving these guys money and weapons, so we have to get our money and weapons from crime lords were kind of scrambling to get money and weapons from other aliens and stuff like that. And some of them supported them, some of them didn't. But then when the Shiaki invaded, the Cobra forces had to shift gears and switch over to a completely military force to kind of defend against the Shiaki invasion. So what happened is these crime bosses and stuff like that, and of course, like a lot of them, they're like, okay, well, these aliens are trying to destroy our world, so like, we need to. They actually stopped doing their criminal activities to like help the Atraxian Planetary Council man the defense against the Shiaki, against the alien invaders. But then there's always some guys, right? Then like some of the other crime bosses, they didn't think the Attraction Planetary Council could actually beat the Shiaki. They actually joined forces with them, and they started working with them. Okay, well, you guys are going to win anyway, so we want to go ahead and put ourselves in a good position, good standing with you, so that when you conquer, like, conquer this planet or conquer this area, then we're already set up. And those criminal organizations that joined up with the Shiaki are actually the origins of the Red Dragon Clan members that we're working on right now. So, like, just keep in mind that Cobra and the Red Dragon Clan have been fighting before the Shiaki invasion, but that just Cobra and the criminal organizations were already fighting before the Shiaki invasion. But during the Shiaki invasion, like some of the branches of the main criminal crime families split off and joined the Shiaki ranks because they thought they were going to win. And so the Shiaki rewarded them by infusing them with alien technology, and that's how the Red Dragon Clan was born, right? So back to what we're doing. So keep in mind these guys they don't need funding to buy weapons, because like the technology inside of their body adapts to create whatever they need, kind of. So let's see, back to making this gun. So I'm going to grab another square. I've already created another layer, and I'm just going to drag the barrel out here. All right, and move this along. So when it comes to, like, I know this story inside and out. So when it comes to lore, like, I really do like talking about that, because, like, the only reason I make games anyway is because I just wanted to tell this story. It's a story I've had with me since I was a kid, so I really want to kind of get it out there. And I think it's a multicultural, like, like a story, very diverse. We have everybody is, like, just trying to survive. We got love, we got romance, we have lots of fighting, lots of death uh, in it. So, all right, now for this part, this is kind of a scope, or like, not like, I feel like a laser sighting, basically. So we're just going to go ahead and create this here. And I'll use a different color. Just any random color will do. All right, so, and I think I'll drag this here. Now, realistically, we're probably not going to see most of this gun, because it's going to be kind of hidden below the body, and it's just going to kind of be rotating below the body. So we're not going to actually see the butt of it or anything like that. So I think this will be good enough for the gun, for what we're going to actually see. But I'll stylize it up a little bit, not like that. Right, so there you go. And maybe drag it out here, just in the odd case I do want to, like, show what the gun kind of looks like for some strange reason. Maybe like in a different type of, I might like want to, like, showcase some of the weapons in, like, later in something else. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and have a full gun build out. And curve this up a little bit. All right, cool. So, yeah, this is what our gun is going to look like for now. This is the lazy version of an alien gun. All right, so now what we're going to do is, you're probably wondering, like, well, we have, like, no lines, and this looks all clear, and, like, not going to be able to see shit. Well, and you are correct. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start adding details. And that's going to be very simple, because they already built the geography. So I'm going to go into the head, and I'm going to click this, and um, I'm gonna click this part, and what I could do is I could, like, create, make all of these into different symbols, and then just add the lines there. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and change that back to what it was. I'm gonna go over here, and I'm going to choose black, and I'm gonna, like, go ahead and start drawing my lines in here, like, without turning them into movie clips. So like, I want to choose this right here, and I'm going to choose the stroke size. Usually I think for the rim, or for the outer lines, I tend to use 10 or 12. And then I'm going, instead of using the paint bucket tool, I'm going to use the ink bottle tool. and I'm just going to click here. Boom, and that is huge. All right, and this is why I like doing vector graphics. So let me click this line and then kind of shrink it down. So I think we're going to go for maybe about 6. And the reason I might go for a 6 is because it's a top-down shooter and it's 2D, so I might need to identify the lines, like be able to like clearly see the lines if the scene gets darker. So I'm gonna go use this one right here for now, like maybe thicker lines 5. That does look kind of 5 4. I think the 5 looks better. All right, yeah, so we're going to use 5 for this one for now, and then we can always change it later. And I'm still going to be using the ink bottle tool, so go down here, and I'll choose this. Now, for the top, we're going to use 5, but for this bottom one right here, you notice 5 kind of looks a little bit too big. So I'm going to change the line shape to about maybe 3 instead. And go back to my ink bottle, which I can access by hitting S, by the way. But I do want the lines to be clear enough to see in the scene if necessary. All right, and then for the goggles and stuff like that, I am going to go ahead and give those a line. I'm going to change the line. I'm going to make the line color like kind of really stand out here. Yeah, with just selecting a green. For the face, I don't think I'm going to actually give that a line. I'm just going to give him a smile or something later, unless it's absolutely necessary. Am I going to line the face? Yeah, I'm going to line the face. Never mind. So scratch what I just said. So go up here to the brown. I'm going to drop the stroke order of this one down, stroke size of this one down to about 1. And then I'm just going to, and 1 might be a little bit too small. I just highlighted everything, which I didn't mean to do. Yeah, might give that a 1. Give that a 2 instead. Okay. And let me zoom in here. So what this is doing is it's kind of like overlapping with my green. So in order to fix that, let me go ahead and just take this, go ahead and cut it, and I'm going to drop it on a layer below here. Yeah, just to make sure, just to be on the safe side, to make sure that make sure that the face structure is below the goggles. And there we go. All right, so there we go. We got our face, we got our goggles, we got, you know, his little halo up here. And now I'm going to switch back over to black and do some of the detail lines. What are you doing? All right, so hold on. Now, I do have a lot of stuff open on my computer, by the way, so I'm surprised this thing hasn't dropped yet. Right, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to like change my stroke back to black. And for detail lines for this, I do want those to be visible as well. So those will be usually about like 2 or 3 for a model of this size. I'm going to create another layer on top of everything. So like an empty layer. And you notice I'm not really naming my layers, but I'm going to name this just like detail lines, because these detail lines will like you know, cover all of the layers down here. If this blue is in the way, what I can do here is just kind of like turn it off. Right, so back to my detail lines layer. I'm going to grab the line tool, and I'm just going to start drawing. And okay, that's too big. So the detail lines for this one will need to be 2. So go here and then drag it here, and go here and drag it here, and then I can go ahead and create my little Power Rangers looking crisp shape here. Okay, and in this instance, I can go ahead and close a lot of these off, because like what I'm going to be doing with this right here is I'm going to be like kind of filling it. So I could have just used a square, but I just didn't want to. So, and then since these are all kind of just lined out anyway, um, what I can do is just go here and just bend these lines to conform to the contour of the actual helmet because the helmet is round. Right? So I can do this. And I'm not going to need to fill anything over here. So this is also going to be rounded. Rounded. Yeah. All right, and then I can just kind of draw any additional lines that I need. Like this. And so you might wonder why I'm drawing all of my lines on a new layer instead of the layer that actually had the shape. Well, that is so that I can easily go back and edit them when I'm making a new character. So I tend to want to reuse as many assets as possible. So let's see, what about this guy? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and switch this over here, and I'm going to select the paint bucket, and I'm going to try to fill this in with gold. So if I can't fill something in, then what I'll need to do is I'll need to zoom in a little bit. And that means that these lines are not intersecting with something. So I'll go ahead and drag this over here. Okay, this one should be okay. What about you? So I can just kind of drag these lines to intersect. Okay, this one should be fine. And get rid of this little extra point here. Just by highlighting it, clicking on it, and yes, I can get rid of these extra points here. And now if I hit my fill tool, I should be able to drop a color in here. Cool. All right, and let's see. Okay, yeah, something like this might work. And this also gives me the option to like make any little funky shapes that I want as well. So if I wanted to give him a star instead, I could just kind of do that without really messing with the other like parts of the shape. And then I can get rid of this bottom line if I don't need it. All right, so yeah, that will be good enough for that. And I can always shrink these, but the advantage of using lines on here, like I said, is if I want to change the shape or I need to change the design of them, then I can just simply highlight them and maybe come over to the line tool or something like that, and I can well, that shit didn't work. I can increase or decrease, or just kind of manipulate the lines as I need to. This isn't working because I actually put a fill color in there, so don't worry about that. But you get the idea. Yeah. All right. So now, what I'll do is I will cut this back on, and I'll make sure that these kind of line up with the bottom part. Make sure that they kind of intersect here. Okay. And let's see. Do I want this to go all the way around? Yeah, I think I want this one to kind of go all the way around, so I'll curve it out a little bit more here. And maybe this one as well. Yeah, and then I'll add a few more lines here. Um, these lines don't necessarily serve any function. They're just kind of there because I want them to be. Adding texture, yay. All right, cool. So yeah, that will be the top part of the helmet. And then all I have to do now, for the ears, for the ear part, I'm still going to be using the same thing. So for the ear part, I think I might go ahead and just draw a line here. Just to show some kind of differentiation. All right, and now, to finish this helmet part off, or the head part off, actually all I need to do is this. I can unlock all of the layers now that I'm kind of satisfied with the way everything looks, and I can just like click on all of these colors, and now I have to decide which red do I want. So, nah, it's too dark. This one's too light. This one might be just right. Okay, cool. That doesn't look bad. Right, and now once I'm satisfied with the color, I can just go ahead and go over here and put it to full opacity and turn it red, and there we go. And for this yellow part in here, this is already yellow because remember their team colors are red, gold, and green. All right, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, this works. For the goggles, I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn the opacity up on this one to like maybe 75. Want it to look like it's a little see-through. For the face, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this to 100. All right, and that's a little bit like light for skin tone, I think, or too yellow for skin tone. So I might actually change this one a little bit to check and see which one looks better. Yeah, I'll give this a little bit of a lighter tone. Okay, yeah, this will work. And if I want to, I can actually like kind of give him a mouth, but this is a top-down shooter, so we're not going to be paying too much attention to his facial expression anyway. So I'll just kind of leave that blank. Then for the head, I think I'm going to go ahead and choose this tool, which is the classic brush tool, and I'm going to click on white. And I'm going to create another layer above here. And this is where I'm just going to kind of draw some highlights, but that's huge. So I'm going to go to, take my brush size down to about maybe 1. And I can just kind of draw some highlights on this. Okay, so yeah, I can kind of draw my highlights like any way that I want them here. Boom. All right, and let's see, is there anything else I need? Yeah, so actually that kind of works for the head at the moment. Right, so now if I zoom out, we have a head. Yay! His goggles are kind of getting on my nerves though. So what I'll do is I'll probably just go ahead and darken the color of the lines around here. Yeah, so I'll darken the stroke. Okay, yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, yeah, so I think we're gonna leave the head like this. Yay, that looks decent. And I mean, I can add some highlights up here as well, so I am gonna go ahead and do that. But I'm not gonna add too much. I'm not gonna add too much detail to this because also in Unity we're going to be using some of the tools there as well, like for example, the line renderer. I mean, sorry, not the line renderer, the URDP, URP. Sorry, and I'm starting to get sleepy. Sorry. So like for this, I think I can just kind of, whoops, I'll have to create a new layer. Yeah, so I can put like a highlight layer up here and I can just kind of like do stuff like that, or maybe do something like that. Yeah, I don't really like drawing with the mouse. I can, but no, it's not my favorite thing to do. So with these, what I can do is, since I've got them on a new layer, I can go ahead and make a movie clip out of just those lines. And I can go to filters, or I can go to effects and go to alpha. And then I can just kind of shrink the alpha down on this a little bit. And, that'll give me a little bit of additional detail for this. And for this, these lines are a little bit crisp at the moment. So, I can use my filters to blur them out if necessary. Maybe a blur of like maybe 2 or so would work. And I can always kind of play around with them any way that I want to. All right. But yeah, that looks pretty decent for a head, because we're going to be doing some other stuff with this in Unity anyway. And now we'll go ahead and quickly do the body. All right, so I will zoom in on that. And now that we have the head done, you'll notice that we also already have the base color that we're going to be using. So I'll go ahead and switch this over to red, and the same red as the helmet. And I'll dive in here, and for the main body, it's going to click this and go out, and then move back in once, and that's go ahead and switch that. For this blue, I'm just going to turn the opacity up to 100, and I think I'm not going to give this blue a line. I'm not going to give this a line right now. For the shoulder pads, I might want the shoulder pads to be a slightly different color. So I am going to go ahead and switch this, but I'll probably make it a bit darker. Yeah. No, actually, I'm not going to make the shoulder pads darker. I'm going to make the chest area darker. Yeah, I think that would be tight. All right, so yeah, like a little bit of different color variation, I think, is not necessarily a bad idea. So remember, their colors are like a red, gold, and green. But so they do have like different color variations that they use. All right, yeah, maybe something like this would be okay. All right, and for this back part, this is going to just be like color filled. But before we do the color fill on this one, there's something else that I want to do. So we'll go ahead and add the lines to this. So adding the lines will be very easy. So we're going to leave this here. Go to the go color. Go back to our ink bottle tool. And for this, his backpack, so it's kind of external. So we're gonna give this a line width of 4. And for the inside little booster things, we're going to give them the same outline color, but only with the line strength of about maybe 2. And now what I'm going to do is on this layer above, I'm going to grab my line tool, and I'm going to just basically draw these lines in. Right? So I can draw them like any way that I want to. Now we're not going to be using any shading for this. Backpack probably, so I don't necessarily need to worry about the line intersections for sectioning stuff out. So I can just quickly do this, and do this, do this, do this, do this. And then because I'm using vector art, I can always line these lines up later. Just like this. Right, and do this, do this. Okay, and this is good basic, just kind of basic layout for. I'm actually getting sleepy and hungry, so I'm probably gonna stop in a little bit once we do this one, because the other one, once you do one enemy this way in Adobe Animate, it becomes so easy to do the other one. So I'm probably not gonna even need to explain so much because you're just kind of watching how I do it. So I start with the box. I just manipulate the box until it becomes the shape that I want it to be, and then after that I add the colors and the lines, and that's it. Right, cool, cool, cool. Um, for this, I could add some like gradient effects to this to make it look like it's glowing. Um, Actually, I might go ahead and do that. Hmm. I'm going to go ahead and select these two things, and I think I'm going to turn them into movie clips. Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn those into movie clips. And the reason I'm turning them into movie clips is I am gonna go in here and go ahead and change their fill colors to 100 because I don't necessarily need to see what's below the thing. Give me a second. And now what I'm going to do with these is the reason I changed these into movie clips is because I want to be able to add filters to them. So I'm going to add a glow. Ooh, actually, that looks better than I thought. So maybe a glow like this, right? So I'm adding an inner glow to these to make them look like for some reason they're like some kind of power or whatnot, power up inside of them. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this looks kind of like a jet booster, right? And then also, what I could also do is on the outside of this as well. So let me go ahead and cut these. Um, and I'm gonna toss them on a new layer right quick. Yes, I'm tossing these on a new layer so I can put the lines also into a movie clip because I can kind of do some cool stuff with those as well. Right, so yeah, this will be my movie clip for here. And now with these, I can also add a glow or whatnot. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I could kind of do with this, but I'm not going to go crazy with it right now. Okay, yeah, and I think that's pretty good for like the backpack. So what I'm going to do, backpack is now that I've confirmed the color that I want to use and everything like that, then I just go here and go ahead and basically confirm the color. That's all I need to do. All right, so there we go. Now the body needs some lines, so we're gonna go back into our black and go ahead and bump the stroke up on this to 4, and in here make sure that we're on our ink bottle tool and just kind of go ahead and ink around these. Ink around that. I think it's all right to ink around this as well. Right, so I'll move this over here more. Yeah, right around here. And then I will move this shoulder out a little bit more as well. Right, and for the shoulders, I think we're going to, since the helmet is this color of red, I think we're going to leave it like the same color. Okay, so now when we drag our head over here, we've got head that can move, a shoulder that looks really uneven for some reason, even though it's like made from the same model. Okay, so let me do that again. Kind of copy them over. Okay, yeah, that looks decent. And so now we're just gonna go ahead and give these the same type of lines so that they can be identified in the scene. Okay, cool. So there's our head, there's our body, and arms are the same thing. So we'll come to the arm. For the arm, I think I'm going to switch up the colors a little bit. Okay, so I'll now take this blue and then I'll jump into the arm over here. Okay, and I'm just gonna drag that out, drag it in. Go to my tool here, go ahead and fill this in. Yeah, I think I'll leave that line as thick as it actually is right now. This one, I'll drag this over here. Not gonna worry about so much details for the inside of the palm or anything like that. I am going to have her change this to red. Okay, so this is our arm. I'm gonna go ahead and arrange this by sending it so I can just like right click on it and click arrange and then send it backwards. Arrange, send to back. Oh, the reason that that's not working is because I'm tired. All right, so yeah, this is actually sitting on a different layer. So let me see, arrange, into back. Oh. Yeah, that's why it's on a different layer. So in order to send it backwards, I'm gonna have to cut this and shift control and paste, and then I'm going to arrange and send. I can do like a send to back, and that'll like drop it below where I actually want it to. Why? Let's see. Or send backwards. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, and now like our guy can kind of move and yeah, okay. So he does look kind of like jacked, you know, which is exactly kind of what I wanted. I'm gonna make this bigger after all. Okay, so when I animate, you know, he's got his arm that can kind of rotate in and out, and this, like I said, will be more important for the blader than for this guy, right? Because this guy's just gonna stay in the back and shoot. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And now what else do we have? I'm gonna save. I'm gonna go in here, and I'm going to click on his blade. I'm gonna turn this into a movie clip as well. And with this one's also going to get a glow. Okay, and I'll zoom in. Alright, so you'll notice that this blade has a glow around it at the moment, which is kind of what we're looking for. You can intensify it or like, you know, like make it weaker. Yeah, so in this case, I probably want something that's about maybe low. And I will turn this back to 4. Yeah, and I think we're just going to kind of leave it like that. And for now. And I could also like turn this into a symbol again. And I could also come here and make sure that this is 100. Okay, cool. So now we have this nice little glowing, yeah, like Wolverine claw. And if I want to, I can kind of duplicate that out and I can make 2 of them. So very, very versatile. But I think this guy only needs one at the moment. Alright, so I'm actually kind of getting sleepy. I've been up for like all day. And like I said, it doesn't really take too long to build these, so I'm just kind of showing you the process that I'm using to build them. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump off tonight because my eyes are like really tired, probably from playing video games before I did this. But you get an idea of how I actually build my characters. So we'll continue with this actually probably tomorrow, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish building this character, and then I'll build the blader. But my body's telling me I need to go to bed, so because it's 1 a.m. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump off for now. Maybe get some shut eye, maybe rest my eyes a little bit, and then I'll come back and be finishing this up tomorrow. But if you have some time, like of course, stop by, and I've been telling you about the lore of my games. So, stop by my website, creativemv.com, and you can actually check out the Spirits of the Lost Wind game that we're working on at the moment. And I just pulled something out of my ear. Um, so you can check out the game that we're working on at the moment. And, when you click on this, you can, if you want to, you can go to the itch.io page. Yeah, so go to the itch.io page and you can actually play the game as we have it so far, but we're going to be upgrading this very soon. And then, like, if you're really curious, to know more about the lore, the comic, the lore of the story, or like you can you can read the comics, my online comics, or you can check out the book, and that'll give you like a little bit more information. Nikki's, the Red Dragon Clan information, and Nikki's profile are also on the site, so feel free to take a look at those. And I do highly recommend reading this epilogue because it'll give you an idea of the type of action and type of character, the type of action that I like to write into my books. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for now and get some sleep. Yeah, sleep is winning. So I will be back on tomorrow with more game building and more game playing. Right, and I'm also gonna be doing like physical meetups in Tokyo, probably starting around the middle of next month. So I will keep you guys posted on that on my Discord server. And for those of you who don't know, I do have a Discord server, so please stop by Tokyo Indie Game Devs. Yeah. Go ahead and jump up in here. Yay, that's me. So I do have my own Tokyo Indie Game Devs server. Yeah, sure. Give me more perks. No, don't give me more perks. Right now. So I'll be on this server right here, Tokyo Indie Dev Game Jams. So come check that out. You can also find that on my YouTube as well. All right, so that's it for tonight, and I